This piece is called the Showdown, but the funny thing is when we're working on it, we haven't thought of these titles yet, so we know it as Desergified, which probably isn't quite as cool, but it's just how we refer to it.
Still holds true, though.
And obviously the reason for that is because, as you can see here, Kerrigan has been Desergified.
Yeah. Oops, spoiler.
So we spent a lot of time modeling the ground here. Obviously, we've learned from that process that it's going to get covered up by smoke, and we rethink these things nowadays.
The poor modeler. I was beating him up to have him model this really beautiful ground behind it right there, and then I'm like, yeah, and then we're going to cover it with fog. And I think he looked like he wanted to quit. But another thing that was really fun for us moving into some new tools and a new pipeline is we did a lot of handheld motion captured cameras on this piece, just because doing digital cameras is it's just as difficult, I guess, as anything else, but it adds a certain amount of realism that it's just really hard to achieve when you're hand animating a camera.
Titus, what have you done?
And we still like to completely hand animate our characters, but there's something about motion captured cameras that there's a subtlety that you cannot capture in hand animation.
It's just exciting as a director to be able to run around in these environments with these virtual cameras and look around and recompose your shots and just be spontaneous on the set like any live action director would be.
Just changing the angle of a shot can change that shot dramatically.
The shot heard around the world. Poor Tychus. Who knows what happened? Maybe it missed him.
It's okay. I got you.
So this was a sequence, Jeff, that you added in way later in the game, and you felt that it was just missing some of the emotion.
Right. The character had just won the princess, and we weren't really conveying that as much as we could have been. So we added these few shots in between here. Originally, we went from blackness to the very last shot, and just added depth of the interaction between the characters really adds a lot to the cinematic. That, as well as the fine score produced by Neil Lecree, the two together really work well to hopefully tug at everyone's heartstrings.
This particular shot was a shot that had been rolling around in my head for years. I just think maybe it was influenced from Creature of the Black Lagoon, just seeing the creature holding this girl against the sunset. And obviously that's a twisted version of it, but seeing our hero Jim Raynor carry his princess off into the sunset is definitely, I think, one of the most memorable shots we've ever produced.
I like how these two characters just come together even in the midst of this huge battle.
Yeah, it's not about the war, it's not about anything else, it's about these two characters and their story.